This week on the podcast, it is our last episode of 2020. I can't believe the year is ready to close. And Carrie and I are reflecting on all the things, the great things that 2020 brought us. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Francine and you're listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast, a podcast where our first topic of conversation will always be Disney. I've been a Disney fan for as long as I can remember, and I'm determined to bring more of that Disney magic into my everyday life. So if you need a little extra pixie dust in your day, you've come to the right place. Thanks so much for listening, and let's get started. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. Hi, Carrie.
Hello.
Hi.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. How was your Christmas? It was last week.
Just a couple days ago.
Well, last week when people are listening to this.
But when we recorded the last one, it wasn't Christmas yet.
That's right. So when this one goes live,
That's true. It would have been a week ago.
Right. It's the day before New Year's Eve.
Yeah. So Happy New Year!
Happy New Year. How was your Christmas?
It was good. Quiet.
Quiet this year. Although it's funny, my family was going on and on. On Christmas Day, we were sitting around and my sisters are like, oh, it's a very different Christmas. And I'm like, not really. This is the same thing we do every Christmas Day. Nothing's different. We have the same people here. What's different for us is Boxing Day. We normally do, everybody has Christmas kind of in their own homes. And then on Boxing Day, the extended family get together. So that's what was different. Christmas Day was exactly the same for us.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good. I did some puzzling on Christmas Day.
That's exciting.
I never do puzzles. I don't have any puzzles, but my sister has a ton of them. So,
are you done the puzzle? You kept posting that you were still puzzling on your Instagram story.
Yeah, no, we're not
because
done.
Seriously,
she kept it. We're going to finish it next week.
Is it a 500 piece or 750?
No, I think it was 1,000.
Okay, 1,000 piece.
It's a big one. But here's the thing. This is why. So I posted this on my Instagram story. We were fighting about it. We were arguing about this. So she has all these little boxes where she puts the pieces, right? And she separates the pieces. But she separates the pieces by shape. Meaning, do they have 2 little prongs or 3 little prongs?
I call them innies and outies.
Okay, innies and outies. So she sorts them by shape, not by color.
Right.
So I'm like, but how do I know if it's a 2 or a 3 or whatever that goes in this spot when there's nothing around it? And she's like, oh, you have to know. So we had this big argument about how to sort the pieces. And we did a poll on Instagram. And there was nobody out of all the responses we got that came back and said they sort them by shape. Everybody said they sort them by color. Obviously shape first for the outer. So all the straight edge pieces, they do the outer first, but then it's by color. And yeah, so we had a big fight. So then once we switched to color,
you were moving.
We were moving. We were making progress. But she refused to admit that I was right. But she was finding more pieces. So anyway, so we didn't finish it.
I wouldn't have left until it was done.
Oh no.
That's how I am with puzzles.
But I love my family. But it was a full day of my family. And at the end of the day, I was like, okay, I'm ready to go home.
Which, like you said, it feels like Christmas.
It was exactly like every other Christmas. So, yes, I'm going back next week, and we'll finish the puzzle. We're going to spend New Year's Eve together, and we're going to take down the tree and do all that kind of stuff, and hopefully finish the puzzle. So she said she's not going to touch it until I come back.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't do that.
Did you do some puzzles over Christmas?
Well, I just started a puzzle the other night. I broke it up. I haven't. I usually sit and I'll do it in 1 or 2 sittings. So I'm on my second sitting.
Oh, okay.
I'm showing some restraint and not sitting because, as you get older, your back hurts when you hunch over a table for 8 hours doing a puzzle. Some puzzles, so it's nice to puzzle with somebody, but because my aunt and my mom would puzzle with me.
You're getting old when the back pain is coming from puzzling.
It just shows how much I move about that I get. Yeah, I don't really do too much.
Well, we wanted to do this episode which is the last episode of the year. It's the day before New Year's Eve. And it's been one heck of a year. In fact, probably, for lots of reasons, the worst year. And if you anywhere on social media, everybody will agree with you. But this podcast is not about that. Because that's not how we do things here at Pixie Dust Fam.
Pixie dust or bust.
Exactly. We are doing this episode to recap and think back about all the great things that 2020 gave us. So what are the things that we're thankful for? What are the things that made us happy? It's pretty much an episode full of pixie dust. So Carrie, I'm not going to ask you at the end for a pixie dust because it's going to be a whole episode of our pixie dust.
My Christmas wish came true.
So let's start with, what did 2020 bring us? Like if I look back, I could say the start of the year, I was very thankful. We started the year with the Pixie Dust fan cruise.
Yeah.
And that was a bunch of Pixie Dust fans coming together to get on the Disney Dream. And we had a short 4-day sailing. And we got to spend time together, get to know people in the Pixie Dust community. It was fun. We shared some good laughs. We had a good time, and you can never really go wrong with the Disney cruise. Mm-mm. So we absolutely got to spend some time in the park a little bit after the cruise, and before. I think we spent a day before. In the parks in January, obviously before all the lockdowns and everything happened. So we did get to be in the parks, do a little shopping.
And go on a cruise. It was a pretty good bundle there.
It was a good bundle. It was a good bundle. And, it came together, and truth be told, I don't know if we told this story, but truth be told, I was not exactly anxious to do the Pixie, because it doesn't make sense to me. Like, why would people want to come sail with us? Like, why would people want to come meet us? And it just didn't make sense to me. And then once we did it, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And it was just nice to have people that think and share our passion all come together and cruise together. So that was fun. And we both got sick at the end of that trip, though, but
it might have been the first COVID cases in Canada, but that's to be determined. May never be determined, I mean.
Yeah, there has never been a time where we got to the resort and I was like, yeah, I just want to go to bed. And it was like noon and I had to go lie down because I was so sick. Yeah. And then you were like, oh, I don't get sick. Oh, I don't get sick. You don't get sick. Until then.
Mm-hmm. I've been on trips with you, like when other people, like I can share a room with someone who has the flu and I don't get sick. Like I usually don't get sick.
And you were sick.
And I got sick. Bad sick.
We were both pretty, okay, so this isn't very, things we're thankful for. Back to the Pixie Dust stuff.
Yeah, back to Pixie Dust.
Yeah, so that was fun.
Yeah.
And then stuff happened and we're kind of in lockdown, but there were still things to be thankful for.
Well, yeah, for sure. And we had plans of a crazy travel year because we remember when we did our last New Year's podcast, we were talking about all the things we were dreaming of doing in 2020. I don't want to listen to that episode.
No, I know, because we had so many plans and dreams. You know what? We'll just recycle it for next year.
That's true.
Right?
We'll give it a whirl.
So for a fun little sidebar, I went back to that episode from last year and I snipped about 2 minutes of the episode. And this is where we're talking about the trips that Carrie already had on the books for 2020. Do you only have those 2 trips planned so far for 2020?
Well, that's the only thing that's sort of confirmed, or well, not really.
That's confirmed.
Confirmed in my the Pixie Dust fan is confirmed. It's a done deal. Airfare's bought. Everything's paid for.
Yeah, it's paid and done. We're going.
Destination D is and the D23 Expo when they come up. They're usually just what I do. Like I don't have anything planned, but as long
they're
as
not negotiable.
As long as I can go, I'm going.
Right. I have my resort booked for that one already.
Oh, yeah, I have to probably figure that out.
Well, we'll have room.
I might go down in March for the Runaway Railway. I'm not quite sure.
That's so exciting. So this is Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Mm-hmm. It opens at the beginning of March.
Yeah, well, that one's a maybe for me. Like for me, I'm trying to, like, my sister had a milestone birthday last year, and of course, what's on her to-do list to celebrate that milestone birthday is a trip to Walt Disney World. So I'm going to try my best to squeeze in that. So that date I've got it open for that option.
Nice.
And other than that, because I know, and probably everybody else knows that I'm Disneyland crazy. So trying to fit in.
How many Disneyland trips can Carrie fit in 2020? That's the question.
Trying to fit in a trip before my annual pass expires in the spring, but I don't know. I negotiate with myself every day whether I should go or not. I really want to go to the Oogie Boogie Bash.
That was fun to just take a quick look back at what we were talking about doing last year at this time. Now, back to this year's podcast. Well, so there's some good stuff coming. There's vaccines out. Things I'm really choosing to believe as quickly as we came off the rails, we can get back on the rails. And with this vaccine and all sorts of stuff, we're going to be traveling again in no time. And then we'll do all this stuff. We need Disneyland open. Yeah, that's what we need.
Let's not that we're supposed to stay positive. Let's skip the Disneyland chatter this week.
All right. So, one of the other things that brought me too much joy for really what it should have this year was in the very beginning of the whole lockdown thing. I'm not used to just like sitting and watching TV, like just taking time to just sit and chill. And because I didn't have the commute and all that kind of stuff, and I really was focusing on let me chill, you gave me a couple of things to watch on Netflix that really just brought me so much joy that shouldn't have, which was Tiger King. You told me, oh, just watch it. I watched like one episode. I was hooked. That was it. I binge watched. So it was kind of my first binge watching Netflix thing.
That's crazy.
Right? And then obviously Cobra Kai. So the Karate Kid, which is very exciting. So for anybody that's watching it, New Year's Day, the next season 3, woohoo! I'm very excited.
I think that the timing of Tiger King was absolutely perfect because with everything that was going on, it was just something that was just incredibly like mind-boggling and entertaining that it took a lot of people away. It took everybody a little bit away from reality and, had them talking about other things on social media other than what was going on in real life.
Yeah. So I saw a meme the other day or somebody posted something. I don't know whether it was Instagram or TikTok or whatever it was. And it said, isn't it amazing that this year, the only thing everyone online could agree on is that Carol Baskin killed her husband. It's so true. There was no doubt. Everybody was singing from the same songbook on that one. So that was...
Yeah. And I think the main point of this is that you never before would give yourself downtime. You always were working. You worked all day. You commuted. You drove. You came home. You drove. You worked on Pixie Dust fan all night long, and you never ever took some time to chill.
Yeah, and I think that's from the working at home. Like, I think we're both very blessed that we have jobs that allowed us to work from home this year.
Yeah.
And as soon as they kind of said, okay, that's it, you're working from home, I decided, okay, that's it. Then that commuting time, I can actually use that because that was kind of it sounds silly because traffic and whatever. But that was my time to listen to podcasts or just kind of chill and zone out was when I was driving back and forth to work. So I didn't want to lose that time and wanted to still give it to myself. So yeah, I was taking that time, which, sometimes was like an hour and a half a day I spent in my car commuting. So Yeah, I used it
Well,
to
and what's
watch.
cool is you recognize that and you took advantage of it right away. Right?
Yeah.
Like, most people would just keep working.
Yeah. Yeah. And,
Right?
and I'm
I'm sure a
slipping
lot
a little
did.
back in to that, but I'm trying not to, because it's so important to find that cutoff point. That's the only problem when you work from home, is actually signing off.
Right.
But I'm doing pretty good at that. And so you are too, right? Like you're keeping a box around the day.
Yes.
So we're we're blessed that way. That was
And
good.
then we get to keep working from home into the new year.
Yeah, and I gotta tell you, I don't think I can go back. I don't want to.
See, I'm
go
the
back.
opposite. I'm the opposite. We're like, if I could go back tomorrow and they would say, well, if you go back tomorrow, you never get to work home another day again, I'd be like, okay,
Really?
just give me I'll sign on that line. Absolutely.
Why?
I just like, I don't want my job to be sitting in a at home office all day long.
See, I would love this. I can make my own tea is like 2 steps from me. I can go make it in the kitchen. I've saved all sorts of money from not buying teas at work. I haven't had a stitch of makeup on my face in like 10 months. Because you can just sit a little further back from the camera. Like if my skin isn't looking as fresh and dewy as it should. I've been in, so there's the downside to it, is I've been in track pants for 10 months. In fact, I was taking my nephew to the post office one day, and he looked at me and he's like, "Are you ever going to get dressed again? Like, put on real clothes?" I'm like, whatever. Yeah, I'm so comfortable. I'm loving it.
Well, I think too, like, you were excited from the very beginning, right? Like the whole work from home thing. Like I was a little shocked and kind of fought it, thinking I know I'm not going to like this. I know it shouldn't be like this. Thinking it was only going to be a couple weeks or a month, and in my brain going, there's no way it's going to be like longer than a month or 2. But from you, like from the beginning, it was like hitting the jackpot. And then it was, you came to that conclusion. You're like, yes, this is awesome. Like on day 2, and you looked at it completely different from the get-go, which is why you decided that you're going to start, making more of your commute time and whatever. And you've been like that from the very beginning. Where I think some other people might have struggled with the idea of it, or people had to adapt, right? Like the type of work they did. And I think your work kind of allows you to just pretty easily work from home, right?
It's pretty easy for me to work from home, and I talk to my team all day, every day. I also implemented at work video calls, so we don't have calls without videos on. My entire team, you want to call me, you turn your video on so that we can see each other, so that we, not only for me to make sure that I have that personal contact and connection with other human beings, but so that they do. I have people on my team that live alone, or, they very small family at home. They only see one other person. It's important that we keep that video, and, it gives you the reason to get up in the morning and wash your face, brush your hair, like all of that stuff, when you know that you've got to have the video on all day. So we definitely make sure we do that. And then we do stuff, every couple of weeks on a Friday, we'll play trivia. We'll do stuff to make sure that we're keeping that personal interaction and, do that stuff together. But yeah, I'm always in a t-shirt and sweatpants.
And happy as a clam.
I am. I'm very happy with that. But I decided I would be happy with that.
Yeah.
I think at some point too, it started to get a little daunting for me. And so I moved my desk. So my desk, I now moved it so that I'm actually facing the window. So I get vitamin D coming in. I had it so that I didn't have, like, the light was kind of behind me, the daylight. So now I have it the other way. So yeah, I'm thankful for that. Okay, I think we've beaten to death the work from home.
Sorry.
It's me. Okay, what else has 2020 brought us?
Well, I think one of the most exciting things this year was when we got to interview Bob Gurr on our podcast.
You think that was exciting?
That was sort of like we got so excited we were beside ourselves.
That was absolutely incredible.
We were like giddy and giggling and nervous and.
Well, when he first said yes, he'd do it. I don't think neither one of us. You wouldn't even let me tell anybody because you were afraid that it would jinx it.
Yeah. That's how I roll. Exactly.
We didn't tell anybody until we had actually recorded and then validated that the recording worked.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? Isn't that normal?
We had the day off work. Do you remember? We went to the mall. Then we came here. We set up. We had like 4 things recording at once. We had phones pointed at the screen to make sure we didn't miss anything.
Oh, yep.
And, yeah. That was pretty incredible, Carrie.
Yeah, and we were goofy and it was silly and it was awesome and we don't care. It was just the best.
It was. And the fact that we were so, like, big goofs. Yeah. And it was fabulous. We talked to a man who talked to Walt Disney. Yeah, I couldn't... And even after the recording, we were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this just happened.
Yeah, it was awesome. So yeah. that was definitely a highlight of the year for sure. Like something totally unexpected and
yeah, we had no
kind of got us thinking of just took our minds off of everything. It just totally took over, our thoughts for a while because we were so excited.
Yeah, I'll say just a little. We were over the top excited. And I think that's another thing that we've been thankful for this year is the community itself. So the people that are listening to the podcast that reach out to us on all the channels and, they tell us things like how many people have reached out to me this week to talk about Gary Gnu from last week's episode or different things that they've tried, things we've recommended as Pixie Dust that they've then gone out and bought or tried or just different things. Like the community has been amazing, Carrie.
For sure. It's awesome. Makes it validates, the reason, doing this and that people are listening and they think we're funny or they think we have interesting things to say.
Yeah, did you? Okay, so there you go. Did you ever think people would think that our conversations were interesting?
No, maybe hopefully entertaining.
Well, if we can't be that. So that's been fun. What else?
Big time.
What else has 2020 bought us?
Well, one thing that I thought was a miracle was that you've become just later in the year, almost missed the year.
Almost missed the year.
That you've become a little crafter.
Oh.
You've become a little craftier. No, not goodness. Craftier. You've become crafty.
Yeah, I was not crafty at all in the beginning. I'd never been crafty.
I believe you might even tease people for being crafty.
Yeah, I think I might have. People being you. I think I teased you about being crafty.
Yeah, I've had this happen, but this happened with my sister as well. My sister used to tease me. She
about
would
being crafty?
About being crafty. She wouldn't want to go into the craft stores. Like if we went shopping, she'd sit in the car when I went into Michael's type of thing. And then I showed her Hobby Lobby in the United States. Hobby Lobby is a craft store, but it's got all kinds of home stuff. So then she would go into Hobby Lobby and she'd be like, this isn't too bad. And she could look at all the home stuff while I was at the craft stuff. Anyways, my sister took up knitting and she has an Etsy store, for goodness sakes. I don't have an Etsy store. Yeah, I don't hawk my wares.
You are the master crafter of this trio, and yet, so your sister has an Etsy store.
Yeah, so she was an anti-crafter as you were,
yes.
And then now you've become a bit
crafter.
Maybe I'm an influencer.
I think you are. I think you are an influencer. So you should have your own channel.
Let's talk about you becoming crafty. So you've bought yourself
I bought
Christmas
myself
gift.
a Cricut. I bought myself a Cricut. I don't know what honestly, it was so recent, but when I look back, I can't remember what triggered the whole thing. I can't remember whether it was I'm going to make vinyl stuff, where I'm going to make wall decals, or I decided I was going to make stickers. I can't remember. It's been like this onslaught of stuff that I just want to make stuff.
And you've been contemplating it contemplated it for a while, and then you forget about it. You'd get on, and then you'd come back to it.
And then
I would just sit and be like, whatever you want, like, whatever.
And so I got the Cricut. I finally got it. That was a whole debacle with shipping and whatever. But it finally arrived. And I think that first night, I sent you like 7 pictures. I have vinyl everywhere on my house now.
Anything that's a glass right now has vinyl on it. Her juice cups are now labeled Tink 1, Tink 2, Tink 3, Tink 4.
So I stenciled a wine glass, my USB drive, my laptop,
your flower pot,
flower pot. Oh, that was my first one, and it turned out really well.
Mm-hmm,
and
nice.
I'm like obsessed with doing this stuff. It's so much fun. Carrie, why didn't you tell me how much fun this was?
I believe I've been telling you it's been so much fun.
So now I can't stop. I cannot stop. So that has been quite a gift for me.
And you would have had your crafting. You would have been crafting a lot earlier, but your Cricut got lost in the mail.
Oh my goodness! It was driving me crazy, and I kept looking for the shipping updates. I must have spent hours on the phone trying to figure out where it was, and I kept thinking it's lost. This is the universe telling me I'm never going to be a crafter. And then it finally arrived.
It's a good thing it took a while, because you probably have vinyl on yourself right now. You'd probably
I probably would.
Vinyl tattoos or something.
Well, I just ordered a whole bunch of supplies online from Amazon because I wanted some different color vinyl, and now I totally understand how these people have like craft rooms full of vinyl, and they go overboard. Like I totally get how that could happen.
You collect. That's
Yeah.
I don't know if you can be I guess you could be a crafter and not be a collector, but
I don't know.
You want all the stuff.
I want all the stuff. So now I think I was saying to you, I'm gonna try and make like a T-shirt after we record today. That's on my to-do list for today. But I keep sending you pictures of stuff that
you did good. You little crafter, you.
I know, right? So
you'll have an Etsy shop before I know it, and then I'll still have no Etsy shop. I'll be the crafting.
I need you to design stuff for the Etsy shop. You design. I'll cut the Cricut. We could do so much. Oh, Carrie, because did you know that you can put a pen in a Cricut that it'll draw for you too? I watched a whole bunch of videos about this yesterday. I need new pens.
You can't help me for being a little skeptical, you did buy a sticker. You did buy a button maker last year.
Oh, right.
And because you were going to take over the world and be the queen button maker, and then the button maker is in my basement now, installed in my craft room.
But the difference is that I got the button maker, and it was pretty soon after I had the button maker I realized that I was not going to become a button maker. But I was too stubborn to admit it, because so many people told me that I shouldn't buy this button maker. But anyway, and then you were like, "Let me take the button maker home." So
I think we needed buttons for the Pixie Dust fan cruise. Is that
we did?
Or something. We needed buttons for something, and I was like, "Just give me the dang button maker," because you were going to order buttons you were going to order somebody to make buttons for the cruise, I think it must have been the Pixie Dust fan cruise. It was for something that we needed them.
The swag bags needed them, right? So we had the bags. We had different things for the people that had come on the cruise. And we needed buttons. You're right.
And I was like, let me take the button maker home. I'll figure it out.
I was just going to pay somebody to have the buttons made. But,
and I was like, heck no.
No, I will make the buttons.
Good grief. Charlie Brown.
Okay, but that wasn't in 2020. You took the button maker before 2020.
Well, I'm just saying that's why, I was...
So you're still skeptical about my Cricut because
No,
of the
Cricut's
maker.
pretty special. Like,
It's because you like the stuff I've done. Like you see the stuff I've sold.
I think you'll be hooked. I was just teasing about because I wanted to rile you about the button maker.
Well,
I think
Disney's terrible at doing like phone cases for Samsung. So I told you, I'll make you a phone case. I'll make you whatever you want.
Oh boy, oh boy. Your house, you're going to have vinyl everywhere. Every archway, every door.
I will.
Your fridge is going to be vinyled.
Oh, I thought about that. I was like, I could put some vinyl
everywhere.
I could put it everywhere. So I did. I ordered some different color vinyl so that not everything is white vinyl. Yeah, I know. Okay. So I'm going to be a crafter in 2021.
Yep.
What else has been sort of a blessing of 2020? Disney Plus has given us a lot this year.
Yep.
Behind the scenes shows, Penguins. If you haven't seen it, watch it.
Good grief.
And a lot of great shows, but they gave us a lot of behind the scenes stuff.
Yep.
That was...
And The Mandalorian.
And The Mandalorian, obviously. So, the child, Baby Yoda, Grogu, whatever you want to call him. He's fabulous.
He brought a lot of joy to people this year.
He did. He did.
A lot of stuffed toys and merchandise. Heck, even I bought some. Remember last time we were on the chat, you're like, is that a Baby Yoda Grogu behind you? And I'm like, where?
I know.
Dang it, I didn't think I had my camera that way. Guilty.
Yeah, because we were talking and I was like, Carrie, what is that over there?
Nothing. You're like, is that your Baby Yoda? I'm like, the child, I'm like, nope.
Nope. I'm like, yeah,
you're
it
like,
is.
I'm pretty sure it is.
You tried to pass him off as Kermit. You were like, is it a Kermit? I'm like, nope, that's not your Kermit.
Is it that Kermit? Nope. Is it that Kermit? Nope. Oh.
Yeah.
Busted.
The other thing that 2020 gave, I attended 2 virtual weddings this year, which was...
That's pretty cool.
Was pretty cool. Our friend Curtis got to move to Florida, follow his dreams, get married, live his happily ever after, even though this is all going on, which is fun to watch sort of his life get started and, how that's all adapting. And I had another guy from work who got married, and I got to attend his virtual ceremony online. It's kind of weird to attend weddings, like, from your house. Isn't it?
For sure. Yep.
But then you don't have to worry about the dress. Like,
oh my goodness.
The registries are much easier. Gift giving is easier. Yeah.
That's the way it'll be.
Can you imagine if we end up turning to some kind of events or done more so? Maybe you have like your close family and friends are there in person, but the rest of your extended are virtual.
I can't see that happening for weddings. I think we just have a different perspective.
I don't know. I think it's pretty cool though to have the virtual weddings, don't you?
Yeah, except for the people that want to have a wedding with the big dress and the fancy things and doing every little minute detail and making it a magical day.
I imagine there'll be a lot of, as soon as all this stuff comes through and the vaccine and whatever, I'm assuming there'll be a ton of weddings booked once this all opens up.
But you got to attend 2 virtual weddings, which was very cool.
I did.
Attended one, I suppose, because I was tuning in on Curtis's.
Yeah.
Seems so long ago.
It does. The year feels like it flew by, but also took forever. Like, I don't understand how it's working in my head, but it feels like it's been forever, but yet quick. Mm-hmm. Like, it feels like just yesterday when they were telling me at work, take your laptop home because you're probably not coming in on Monday. Like, it seems like forever, but yesterday. I don't know how that works. But I'm very thankful for our, like, online tools. People can say what they want. I love Facebook. I know a lot of people have had some challenges with it. I have curated my feed is full of happy and positive stuff. I don't get any of the negative stuff on Facebook. So that's allowed me to stay connected with a whole bunch of people, the Disney community, you know, staying positive. I recently, I discovered TikTok this year. I have a love-hate relationship with it. I think it's fun and entertaining and can also be extremely, like you and I have talked about it, anxiety-inducing, because you can, if that algorithm changes much more frequently than Facebook or Instagram to me. Like, you know, I can be watching happy-go-lucky Disney stuff on TikTok, and then all of a sudden I'm down some political rat hole, and it's giving me huge anxiety, and I don't know. And it happened so quick, and I don't know how to get out of that that rat hole.
Hashtag cats. Hashtag cute cats.
Yeah, right?
Funny cats. Funny cat compilations. Hashtag quick.
I have sent you a few of those. So, you know, I'm grateful for all of the things online that has kept me in contact with the community.
Yeah. Thank goodness for Google Meets.
Google Meets, Facebook video chat. You and I really only talk on video.
Yeah.
Which is good. Because then it feels like we're at least in the same room. So yeah, sure. It has been a good year. Of course, it could be better.
We had, like in Disney World opened, so we got to watch that happen, and we got to see things happening. We got to see people at Disney World and see how it unraveled and saw new things that were happening, saw treats online. We could, like, sure, we couldn't travel there, but we still had doses of Disney in our life, like the parks, and
we did.
There was some stuff that's changed there, some things that have been happening, and the Epcot fountain that
I know.
the other day brought me so much joy. Like, that was awesome. So we did at least get to
go see it.
We did get to see the parks,
yep.
You know, through the internet.
They've done some, you know, refurbishments. They've made use of this time where they've got some painting done. Like, they're getting ready for the 50th. You know, there's so much great stuff ahead. And
that brings it, like, it's in a way it's sad that we don't get to go, but it's also awesome that we get to see it. And because of social media and the blog, Disney Parks blog, we get to see all the treats and see all the merch and whatever. And you just have to let it bring you joy instead of you know, being bummed out that maybe we can't see it firsthand, but you can just take it all in and still be happy that it's all there.
Well, I'm hopeful that we're going to get the opportunity to go in early 2021 and see all the changes and get some real life pixie dust. But Carrie, we have spent over 50 weeks being thankful for something. So, you know, we at the end of every podcast share something that brought us pixie dust. We've been very good and very diligent at making sure that we're focusing on the positive stuff every week.
Yeah.
And, you know, probably the last thing that 2020 brought me that I'm very grateful for is that you and being you. I mean, it goes without saying when we say our family, our friends, our health, our happiness, but you know, being in my life, being on the podcast with me, agreeing to be the podcast co-host, you know, it's so much fun, and I couldn't do this without you, so I'm very grateful for you. So thank you.
You're welcome, and I'm grateful for you too.
Even though I'm a crafter now?
Like, of course, because you're joining the club. Like, there was times this year, and I've mentioned it on the podcast, how I've struggled with a bit of anxiety, and it's very, very new to me. And earlier in the year, with my work and the travel industry going to crap, like, there was days I was immobilized when I had to do things. And the only way I got through things was because I had a Google call and you were on the other side and you talked me through things and helped me through things. And so I'm very, very grateful for you, because I might have lost my job. I'm just teasing. No, but But there was times when I just needed a friend to help me through a lot of stuff, and you helped me get the coping skills and the mechanisms I needed to get through. And so, we're lots of giggles and things too, but
laughter really makes us.
But yeah,
makes the difference. Well, thank you, Carrie. We're in this together.
Yep,
we are
for sure,
and we've got some great adventures ahead. I know we do. Coast to coast adventure.
Yeah,
video adventure. If nothing else, video adventures. Oh, and I'm thankful because we put the podcast on YouTube too.
Yay!
Yeah, we managed to get that done.
We just had so much stuff on the go. We probably could have done it earlier, but
we probably could have. But next year, who knows what's going to happen? Yeah. I'd love to take the podcast more video. If we can, but that also means, we have to actually look presentable when we're recording. So you always look presentable. I always look like I've been dragged through a bush backwards. I
don't think so.
I think so.
You're too funny.
I think the pressure of getting ready and camera ready during the week for my work. In the weekends, I'm like, forget it.
Dragged through a bush backwards.
So I think that's kind of the highlights of all of 2020 and what it brought us. And obviously we have something every week that brought us Pixie Dust as well. And we're going to continue to do that in 2021. Always positive, always full of Pixie Dust. Well, you're off the hook this week. You don't need Pixie Dust, Carrie.
Well, you were my Pixie Dust.
Oh, you're mine.
So there we go. We did have Pixie Dust at the end.
We did.
The whole episode was Pixie Dust.
So what are we doing? So think of something. 2021. What are you I'm most excited about getting back to Disney.
I joked in the beginning that I was the only reason and you teased me. The only reason I was okay with all this was because I knew I couldn't get to Disneyland. But as time goes on, I'm so worried that it might not be open for a long, long time. So I'm excited to go to Walt Disney World. I still have a lot of anxiety about traveling and when it's right to go. So I don't know when I'm going to go. But
well, the good news is that neither one of us are necessarily need to plan 12 months in advance.
Yeah, we could just go.
We could just go spur of the moment when the mood strikes, the anxiety levels are low, and precautions are in place. We'll jump on a plane and we'll go.
So I'm for sure excited to go. We've always talked about even just going just to be there, right? Like just to be at the resorts or be at Disney Springs or just be there, get to see Curtis and Alec and some of our other friends that we have down there, maybe get to meet up with them. That would be awesome. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to hopefully going back to work a little bit, maybe more, to see people and have a little bit of normal that way.
Then
I'm excited about having a BFF that's going to want to talk crafts all the time. I'm excited about that. Vinyl. I'm excited about having, because we always seem to find things like reasons why we're totally opposite, really. Like, it's just the funniest thing that we, you like Johnny, I like Daniel LaRusso. Like, it's just, there's so many parts of our lives and our personalities that are extreme opposites.
It's so true.
You'll be wanting to talk about crafting and I'll be like, oh yeah, this is cool. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
Just the regular and just staying positive and seeing where the year takes us. But it'll be good. We're all we've been through so much, it can only get better. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel. There is a light at the end of the tunnel and we're just going to get there. So,
Yep. And we can have fun getting there. Well, Carrie, as always, it's fun. We have a whole bunch of new ideas for new topics in 2021. Couldn't think of anyone better to be doing the podcast with. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to all of you listening from both Carrie and I. We appreciate you from the bottom of our hearts for listening and joining us on this journey. We can't wait to bring you some new fun stuff in 2021. Until next time, remember, you are never too old to be young. Chase your dreams and design your own happily ever after.